Okay, we're looking at this problem and we're not going to focus on the first part of this problem where you find the mean and the standard deviation. We're going to look at the part where you have to find the approximate mean and the standard deviation. So how do you calculate the mean of your group data values? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the midpoint of 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. So basically the midpoint would be add your two numbers up and divide by 2. So I have done that, and I have listed the frequencies, and I've listed the formula for group data. So the formula says to multiply the frequency times the midpoint of each group and then sum it. So if we do, and let me just write it like they have it up there. So we're going to multiply. So 15 times 60, 15 times 6, 25 times 6, 35 times 6, and 45 times 7. Alright, so once we do that, the next thing that we have to do is sum this. So we're going to do the sum of this column divided by n. Now n is going to be the total number of values you have. So if you wanted to know that, you would add your frequencies up. So we have 25 values. So we're going to divide by 25. So if you want to write somewhere, maybe right here, n equals 25, so you'll know when you're plugging in. Alright, so when we add those up and divide by 25, you're going to get the mean for the group data is approximately, we'll do it like that, because group data mean is an approximation of the mean. So your group data mean is 30.6. Now let's look at the standard deviation for your group data. So when you're doing the standard deviation for your group data, you're going to do the sum of your midpoint minus your group data mean, and you're going to square that difference. It's very similar to how we would do it without group data. But then you have to multiply it by your frequency and divide by n minus 1. So let's go ahead and continue with our problem. So we're going to have a column where we're going to do the difference between the midpoint and the group data mean, and we're going to square it. So we have here's the group data mean down here, and here's the midpoint. So these are the numbers that we're going to use. So your midpoint is 15 minus 30.6, and we're going to square it. Then we're going to do 25 minus 30.6, and you're going to square it. 35 minus 30.6 squared, and 45 minus 30.6 squared. So you're going to square that, and then whatever number you get when you square it, you're going to times it by your frequency. So our frequency column is right here. So we're going to do whatever, when we put 15 minus 30.6 in our calculator and you square it, you're going to get 243.36. So now you're going to take 243.36 and times it by your frequency of 6. So when you do that, you're going to get 1460.16. Then do the next one, 25 minus 30.6, square it, and you get 31.36. Now times that by the next frequency, which is also 6, and you get 188.16. The next one, you're going to get 116.16, and then finally 1451.52. Now, the formula says we're going to take this and we're going to sum these up. So when you sum these up, you're going to get 3216. So the standard deviation is going to equal the square root of 3216 over 25 minus 1, which is 24. So when you do 3216 over 24, or divided by 24, you get 134. So you're going to take the square root of 134 and you're going to get 11.58 for your answer. And that is how you find the standard deviation for your group data. Now let's look back at the next question. Explain the difference in results part A and part C. Well, part A, this is where we actually calculated the mean and we didn't group it. So this is more accurate than your grouped. Your group, those little squiggly lines, means it's an approximation. So the results from part A are more accurate. So we're looking for that one. Since part C assumes that the midpoints are a good representation of the data in the group, which can be shown to not always be true. And that is why it's called an approximation. Of course, if you take every single value into account, that's going to be more accurate than finding grouping them and finding a midpoint to represent that group.